All right. So, Keno Upanishad. Just let's go briefly what we have studied so far. That will help us to understand the two verses that we'll study together today. Okay. So, Keno Upanishad, we saw that it started with a question from the student. What is that mysterious entity that drives our human being, our body mind complex, our psycho physical being? The teacher said that mysterious entity is your innermost core, the innermost core of your being, because of which everything's are functioning. Secondly, that mysterious entity is communicate, difficult to communicate about. Words fail to give understanding of that reality. Furthermore, it is neither known like other things, nor that it is unknown. That is, in two senses, it is known and unknown. One is, we know that we exist. That sense of existence that we exist comes from that entity, our innermost entity. But we actually don't know its dimension, its profundity. In that sense, it is unknown. Another way of putting it is neither known or unknown. That is, it is not knowable. It is not knowable. There are many things which we know, many things we don't know. But those things which you don't know can be known, can be objectified. Unlike that, this mysterious entity can never be objectified, can never be known objectively, can never be perceived. It is the eternal subject. It is the eternal subject. Then the teacher said something very profound. The teacher said, this mysterious entity about which you have inquired is also not only your innermost being, not only it is the subject, but it is also limitless. It is vast. It is Brahma. And this is the same vastness, same infinity, same limitlessness that people are seeking everywhere through different symbols, through different images, and they are trying to worship those symbols and images and idols. What actually they are looking for is that same infinity, same limitlessness, same vastness, which is at the core of your being. Then the teacher cautioned the student, don't jump to get the conclusion very quickly that you are infinite, that you have understood, you have known your infinity. Don't jump too quickly to say that I have known my vastness, I have known my real nature. At that, the student said, no, I'm not jumping into the conclusion. But what I have understood is that reality, which is also infinite, which is also the innermost core of my being, can neither be known or it is beyond unknown. And those who understand my statement, they really understand what I am speaking about. So evidently, the student spoke from their own experience, their own understanding or an conviction. With this, the teacher-student dialogue ends here. And in the next 3 verses, the Upanishad will conclude the central teaching. It will summarize what we have learned so far and also give us some more insights to ponder. Very interesting. One of the mantras, mantra 2.4, that we shall take up today, the second mantra that we shall take up today, is a very profound mantra. On that mantra rests a unique practice of Jnana Yoga. One unique practice of Jnana Yoga. We shall take that up later on. First, mantra number 2.3. Mantra number 2.3. This is also a paradoxical mantra. Yasya amataṃ, tasya mataṃ. Matam yasya na veda saha. Avijñātaṃ, vijānatāṃ, vidyayaṃ, avijñātaṃ. One for whom ātmā is not knowable understands ātmā. One for whom ātmā is known does not understand ātmā. For an illumined person, ātmā is unknowable. For an unillumined person, ātmā is known. One for whom ātmā is not knowable understands ātmā. One for whom ātmā is known does not understand ātmā. For an illumined person, ātmā is unknowable. For an unillumined person, ātmā is known. So we don't find as such any new thing in this mantra. It is a repetition of what we have already understood, already we have read before. So first line and third line represent the same idea. Second line and the fourth line represent the same idea. The first line was, one for whom ātmā is not knowable understands ātmā. That is, one who has an intuitive experience of ātmā. Intuitive experience of ātmā. Shankaracharya says, samyak darshana. Samyak means right understanding. Samyak darshana. Samyak, right understanding. For such a person, they know ātmā is not a thing to be known. For such a person, ātmā is beyond the known or unknown category of things. For them, ātmā is not knowable. Ātmā is not a knowable thing. So for an illumined person, ātmā is unknowable. This is the third line. They would never say, I have known ātmā. They recognize ātmā as the eternal subject, and their life, their conduct, their reaction to circumstances, things, events will reveal that they have some profound experience. They would never say, I have known Atma. And their experience of recognizing Atma is ineffable, but its effect is unmistakable. From the effect, we can surely say that that person has recognized Atma as the eternal subject of their being. Just opposite to that is what is expressed in lines 2nd and 4th. Okay, one question here. So the illumined person, according to this mantra, will say that Atma is not known, right? An illumined person will say Atma is not known. What if now all of us can say here Atma is not known? Will it make us illumined? If we say Atma is not known, Atma cannot be known. How would you defend this question?
Only if you have the samyak darshana, right?
Yes, exactly. You got it right. It has to come from our own intuitive, direct experience. Okay. Direct experience. Merely if we say Atma is not known to me, that does not make me illumined. Okay. It has to come from our own firm understanding and conviction. All right.
So then what verb, what word would you use? If you've had the intuitive experience and you have a sense of it, you know you don't have it all, what word do you use?
Exactly. What word they use? What word they use? That we have to find from how they express it. Okay. Mostly they would say that what it is, cannot be expressed. This is what the best expression they will do. Or they may remain silent. They remain silent. You know, that is also a method the teachers in yonder years used to employ. It is silence. Have you experienced Brahma or Atma? Keeping silent. Keeping silent. Or what it is cannot be expressed. Okay. Or I believe sometimes they may say, I have got a glimpse of it. I have got a glimpse of it. I have got a glimpse of it. And as I said, how to understand they are telling right? From their conduct. From their conduct with people, their behavior, their sympathy, empathy with others, and how they react to unfavorable situations. Unfavorable situations. That is the test of whether they have got the glimpse or not. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, that is the ātmā. For an unillumined person, ātmā is very confidently they will say, ātmā is known. Shankaracharya says here that the unillumined of this verse does not apply to the materialistic people. For them, the question of knowing ātmā does not arise at all. They are not interested at all in ātmā. So the unillumined person of this mantra, those who say that I have known ātmā, according to Acharya Shankara, they are spiritual seekers, but they have not got the knowledge correctly. Asamyakdarshi. They have missed the mark. And if we remember how they can miss it, how they could have mistaken it. Any idea from the verses we have read so far? How one can misunderstand?
Taking the symbols as the real, or what?
To some extent,
worshipping
but even there was a direct hint that I have understood it, I have known it, may mean that I have missed it. How?
By just having an intellectual understanding of it.
Yes, that's true. Some more from what we have read. .6. Okay, some more. Okay. What was the caution given by the teacher? That if you have understood it, if you think you have understood it, you might have known it in its limited form. Remember that mantra 2.1? Your understanding may be limited. Why? Because maybe you are confusing the ātmā along with your body-mind complex. Remember the warning, the caution that the teacher gave, that your understanding may be incomplete. It may be conditioned by your understanding of you as the whole psychophysical being, and claiming I have known what you are actually knowing is ātmā, and you are confusing it with your physical existence, your body-mind existence. And also cosmic level, the teacher said, even at cosmic level, it is difficult to comprehend ātmā as it is. You may confuse it with the symbols, or as we said, that the infinite. It's difficult to comprehend that infinite in the cosmic scale. We always add something, with the infinite, the ātmā or Brahma as it is, difficult to comprehend for us. We always take the help of something. So when I say, suppose I say, yes, I have known ātmā. Wait a minute. What are you referring to by ātmā? Is your ego involved in that? Is your mind involved in that? Is your buddhi, intellect involved in that? So that is why Shankaracharya says that in this mantra, when the mantra says, to the unillumined it is known, it should be taken as not the total materialists, but spiritual seekers who are really intent of this kind of illumination, but could have missed the mark, has confused ātmā with all its adjectives, all its attributes. Okay, that way of that we have to remember. All right. So here is a doubt then. If ātmā is not known even to the illumined people, can ātmā be known at all? Will it ever remain elusive. How to know ātmā, how to experience ātmā, how to realize ātmā. Is there any means of knowing ātmā? From the discussion so far, we have understood clearly that it is beyond known unknown. Okay, all right. It is the innermost thing. All right. It is vast, infinite. All right. It is everybody. It is what everybody is seeking. All right. But how to get a hold of it? What is the practice for it? What is the method? What is the step for it? That is the question. And that is the next verse, one of the most profound verses of all the Upanishads. So as we know, each Upanishad, all the Upanishads basically teach the same thing about centrality of immortal ātmā. And that ātmā, the innermost being, is also the infinite, the vast. This is the central teaching of each Upanishad. But each Upanishad has some unique contributions to this field of understanding ourselves. For example, Isha Upanishad had a unique contribution that try to see God everywhere, right? Try to see God everywhere. That was a unique contribution of Isha Upanishad. Similarly, the Kenu Upanishad next mantra has a unique contribution. Let's take a look at it. Pratibodha viditaṃ matam amṛtatvaṃ hi vindate ātmanā vindate vīryaṃ vidyayā vindate amṛtam. Matam, ātmā is realized when viditaṃ, it is recognized pratibodha in every cognition. One vindate discovers amṛtatvaṃ, immortality from such realization. ātmanā, through one's self-effort, vindate, one gains vīryaṃ, power. Vidyayā, through self-realization, vindate, one discovers amṛtam, immortality. If you look at it, this word, viditaṃ and ātmanā and vindate, they have different meanings in this same verse. The problem with the usual translations is, that is the problem. You know, they take the word viditaṃ as known, okay, everywhere. And then they have to then explain. But if they understand the meaning in which sense this word has been used, they would have used different English equivalent for them. Viditaṃ at one place is recognized, at another place it is realized. Okay. Then vindate, one discovers, here it is gains, like that. So what is the mantra of the meaning of the mantra? ātmā is realized when it is recognized in every cognition. One discovers immortality from such realization. Through one's self-effort, one gains power. Through self-realization, one discovers immortality. Immortality. So wonderful mantra. Let's go step by step. The word bodha means cognition. The word pratibodha in dictionary meaning is also cognition or knowledge. Cognition or knowledge. It is Shankaracharya who explained pratibodha as bodham bodham. That is, in every instance of recognition. In every recognition. Okay. In every cognition. Shankaracharya was the first to use interpreties as in every cognition. And that became the norm for the industry, if we are allowed to say that. From then on, everybody has explained the word as in every cognition. Okay, in every cognition. So there are two meanings of pratibodha here. One given by Shankaracharya, other acknowledged by Shankaracharya in the same commentary. But we are very prone to overlook it, ignore it. Okay, so we shall take both the meanings of pratibodha. Both the meanings. First, Shankaracharya's explanation, which is a very standard explanation, which is taken by everybody, accepted by everybody. Every cognition. Bodham, bodham, prati viditaṃ. It has to be recognized in every cognition. That is, in every cognition, in every instance of knowledge, what are the elements present? We have seen briefly, according to Vedanta, when I am knowing a thing, a book, okay, so I am knowing a book. Here is the object, book. According to Vedanta, mind goes out. Mind goes out through the apertures, that is, through the eyes, and envelopes the book. Okay, the mind takes the shape of the book. And that shape of the mind is the thought for that particular moment. And this is presented before ātmā. Mind or buddhi is the most interior thing closest to ātmā. And in the light of ātmā, the light of ātmā illumines this thought wave, illumines the thought wave, then mind in kind of understands, recognize the subject. Okay. So three things are needed. One is the object of knowledge. Second is the mind. Third, the ātmā, according to Vedanta. And Vedanta says that in every knowledge, what is happening, object is changing, right? Now I am learning about the book. Next moment, I look at the pen. Next moment, I look at the table. The object is changing. The mind, the shape of the mind is changing. That is, the thoughts are changing. But one who is knowing, one who is witnessing, that has remained unchanged. If that also changes, there will be no cognition. There will be no cognition. So this is unchanging ātmā is present in every bit of knowledge. So if you want to get hold of ātmā, if we are allowed to say this word, if you want to get a hold of ātmā, analyze every piece of cognition. It is present in every bit of cognition. We don't require any super conscious experience to get a hold of ātmā. In every bit of knowledge, every bit of cognition, every mental state, it is present as the witness, a witness which is unchanging. So recognize that unchanging witness of every knowledge and you realize ātmā. Okay, this is something very profound in 3 words. In 3 words, what a profound spiritual practice Upanishad is telling. 3 words: pratibodha, viditaṃ, matam. Matam means it is realized. ātmā is realized. How? Viditaṃ, by recognizing pratibodha in every act of cognition. In every act of knowledge, ātmā is present. Try to get hold of ātmā in every moment if you want to. If you want to. Try to find out in every bit of knowledge who is the witness. Who is the witness? In every bit of knowledge, that is the unchanging witness. I was a child once, a youth, a middle-aged, but the I, sense of I, is unchanging. I, the existence of I, it has not changed. It is the witness minus the thoughts and object of knowledge, that is ātmā. That is ātmā. Okay, every bit of knowledge. Now, you have any question about this, every bit of cognition? I have a question. Yes, who has a question?
Swamiji, can the word cognition also be translated as awareness?
No, cognition means here, it's a knowledge of something. Okay, in every aspect of knowledge, a knowledge is happening. Okay, awareness is akin to witness. Okay, awareness is witness, but cognition, that is, 3 things are happening. An object of knowledge is there, and mind, and because of the awareness of this vritti or thought, I am gaining the knowledge. So every bit of knowledge you try to get this source of awareness. Okay. The question is, what about deep sleep? In deep sleep, we don't have any cognition or knowledge. Is ātmā then not present?
Limited cognition to relative knowledge. You've limited cognition to relative knowledge. What if the cognition is actually the transition from absolute to relative? So
exactly. I shall come to that in a moment. That is another meaning of pratibodha. Okay, here Shankaracharya is stressing that in every mundane, everyday knowledge, every bit of knowledge, the witness of every knowledge is ātmā. Try to get a hold of it. Knowledge of the absolute, I shall come in a moment.
Maharaj, in deep sleep, if Atma was not there, we would not even know that there is something like a stage of deep sleep. The very fact that we know that something did happen or there was something, but we cannot see it, tells us that there is something that is within us that is witnessing that. And
Right. Exactly. In fact, in deep sleep, there is nothing presented before the ātmā to illumine. Okay? Nothing presented before the ātmā to illumine. For example, if we look at the sky, there are darkness and also there are sparkling stars. Okay? So what is happening here? Light is present everywhere. Okay? It is as it is hitting something, it needs something to hit and being reflected. Then only we are recognizing light. To kind of ātmā is present all the time as witness of all the time. In deep sleep, nothing is presented before it. Nothing is presented before it, but it knows. What it knows? Blankness. Nothing is presented before me. That is also known by ātmā. How? In retrospect, we may say, we slept so well. In fact, we say, I slept so well, I did not know anything. I did not know anything. That is, Upanishad, according to Vedanta, that is a pointer that even in deep sleep, something was aware that I am not knowing anything. I am having a wonderful sleep. Okay. So ātmā, the witness, is ever present. Depending upon what is being presented before it, it is knowing or not knowing. It's knowing or it's not knowing. All right. And second meaning of pratibodha. Okay, Shankaracharya, after giving a lengthy commentary of the word pratibodha, he says, interestingly, he says two other meaning of pratibodha. He says, some people say pratibodha means the state of deep sleep. State of deep sleep. Okay. And some others say pratibodha means a special experience which happens only once, one final experience. Shankaracharya says, to them, I say, whatever it is, whether it is deep sleep or it is one great final experience, but it is a cognition for sure. Okay, it is cognition, it is pratibodha for sure. He left it there. Okay, so he did not deny the possibility of getting the glimpse of ātmā in a special experience, such as samadhi, you know, or a breakthrough, a flash might happen. That also is possible. And when that happens, whether we have got hold of ātmā, this unchanging witness, in every bit of cognition, or through a special illumination, a special experience, what happens? We discover a immortal dimension in our personality. Immortal dimension. We discover something which does not change. We become convinced about the presence of something in the core of our being, which remains as it is, no matter what the changing object, no matter what the changing state of mind, no matter what kind of emotions we're going through, but we discovered one witness, subject, who is not changing at all. And that is discovering our non-changing, unchanging dimension of our personality, which Upanishad says is knowing our immortality. Immortality. Immortality does not have to mean that gaining the knowledge we shall remain ever, forever. No. Immortality means discovering a unchanging aspect, dimension of our personality. Okay. So that is the second line. Whether it is when it is known, when it is recognized, when ātmā is recognized this way in every act of cognition or through some special experience such as samadhi, then it is matam, then it is realized. We cannot say it is then known. We cannot say known, right? Because from the strength of the previous verses, we cannot use the word then it is known. We can say loosely it is known, but to be more precise, it is then realized. And then one discovers the undiminishing immortal aspect of their existence. Okay, let me stop here before moving on to the next two lines. Let me see how many questions. Is this giving reference to something I have heard before or having an ultimate or final thought? In other words, when all other thoughts have merged into one final thought, one under the right conditions becomes realized. Both the possibilities, one great experience, but Shankaracharya is showing here in every experience, ātmā can be realized in every bit of experience. One great way of thinking it, one great way of thinking is, to an illumined person, ātmā is always present in every bit of recognition. Okay. What has become natural for them is now a practice for us. Okay. All right. And what was the second question? Because of the artificial separation of the knower and the witness, we think the ātmā is different from the knower and the object of knowledge. Artificial separation of the knower and witness or known. Yes, ask that question again. Yeah, unmute and ask.
We have separated into three things: the object of knowledge, the knower, and the witness of the act of cognition or recognition of the object. So we made
No. Three things: the object, the mind, and knower, subject, witness are the same thing.
Right. Because we artificially separate them into three, we get confused. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes. Okay, another question. Is ātmā aware of itself? That is a
good question.
It is a good question. Is ātmā is aware of itself? Is ātmā aware of itself? Then ātmā will become object of its own subject. Okay. This is where our conventional understanding will fail. Knowing means, if I am knowing all the time, I am also knowing myself, that I am knowing. Whatever my understanding of my I is, I am knowing. But in case of ātmā, pure consciousness, whether it is aware itself. Does this mean dissolution of the ego, my identity as a person disappears at that point? Yes, exactly. For that time being of that particular experience, if we are talking about that ego, which separating me from the entire universe, that has to go, that has to dissolve. Yes, Manish Chakravarti.
Yes, just a quick question. I'm kind of still pondering over this
Yes, yes.
aspect. It is realized in every state of mind. I'm thinking about the story of the blind man and the elephant.
Mhm.
One touches the trunk or the leg, and they do realize some aspect of this object, but they don't get the grasp of the full,
Elephant.
the whole, animal. So
Hmm.
in that sense, to understand this, if it's realized in every state of mind, it's realized in any state of mind, or is it realized in the sum total of all the states of mind, which obviously is inconceivable and not attainable because it's an infinite number of possibilities.
No, not
Yes.
in that sense. What Upanishad is trying that in every act of cognition, every bit of experience, the witness is present as whole. As a whole, it is not fragmented. It is not changing like mind. That my mind some time ago knew about the book, some time ago thought about San Francisco, now it is thinking about New York. Not that kind of thing. Okay. But in every bit of cognition, every bit of experience, every bit of knowledge, one who is knowing, one who is witnessing, that one is ātmā. That is the ever-present witness. That is the eternal subject. Okay, so it has to be recognized, it can be recognized through every bit of experience. Okay, in every bit of experience, it can be aware of, or it can be realized, whatever. It is something probably all of us to figure out how to recognize it in every bit of experience, every bit of experience. You got it?
Right.
Not as a sum total of all the states of mind. No, in every state of mind, it is present as full. As full. Imagine an ocean always present. Okay, an ocean of consciousness always present as it is, full, undivided, and depending upon what is being present before it, we are knowing it as a book, as a laptop, as a pen, or as a memory of San Francisco, as a memory of New York.
Right.
Okay.
It's still the same undivided.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Rick. Yes. Rick.
Sorry, I just had going back to the previous verse.
Hmm.
It is not known by those who know it, or by the illumined ones. Thinking of the story of the salt doll, going down in the water and dissolving. Is there an interpretation along those lines? Once you really know it, you cannot come back and express it. In that sense?
No, not in that sense. All along this Upanishad, in this context, known and unknown has been meant to signify or to refer to being objective or not, whether it is object of knowledge or not. Can it be objectified or not? The way we know other things or not.
I see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Rick, go ahead. Rick, you raised your hand.
Here it comes. Am I on now? Yeah. You see, I think the thing about cognition is that the question, does it know itself? If it knows itself, then it also knows the whole material existence as itself. So the experience of this cognition is not just the recognition, it's actually the creation itself. That's what transfers ātmā from the absolute to ātmā, the relative. In that experience in that cognitive experience, the creation is there. So it's not only observing something else, it's observing its own process of creation. So it's all in one.
Yeah, indeed. One way of putting it will be like this. Here, the emphasis is how to get a handle over ātmā. Okay, not from a cosmic standpoint, not what it does, but how we, in our day-to-day experiences, can try to get a glimpse of ātmā or try to get a hold of it. Because from all the previous discussions, it may appear ātmā is not knowable, cannot be known, and nothing can be told about it. Then how to experience its presence? How to yeah. So here try to analyze your every cognition, okay, in that sense. Okay.
Think about that job, trying to
Yes.
analyze every cognition. But the
Yes.
fact is, we do cognize. We do recognize. It's that very process. We don't have to examine our navel. It's thought itself is the program. Thought itself is the program.
Right.
Take me off.
Swami?
Yes.
So you must have been referring to this mantra a couple of weeks ago, Swami, and the language is pretty much the same, but I really took hold of something slightly a slightly different way that you express things, and you said every act of cognition presupposes the presence of consciousness, awareness, Brahman, however you want to express that. So for me personally, it has almost turned into you could say a 2-week meditation, and I'm wondering, in practical terms, could you suggest a way of focusing on that? I will call it a point of contact, where that point at which we recognize the presence of something unknowable. Is that clear?
Yeah, I know that, and I'm glad you asked this question, because it may tempt us to start it from now on. Okay, that's why next part of the mantra says it requires great effort, power. It requires great self-effort to gain the power. What power? The power to recognize ātmā in every recognition, every cognition. That is, it is a slow process, and it is a sadhana. It is a sadhana. Okay. How? Yes.
So, Swami, isn't that why we need meditation? Because we're spending all this time using our intellect to talk about things that we can't really know with this part of our mind. So meditation is, to me, the only real key.
Yes, meditation is the very condensed form of, trying to get hold of every mode of cognition. It's a condensed practice. Okay. But also you should not forget that what Upanishad is telling and how Shankaracharya is interpreting it is a practice which can be done every moment. Once we have known how to do it, okay, how to do it. Otherwise, the problem will happen. What the risk of this practice is, if we become too involved in the practice, we shall be ignoring the knowledge itself. You got my point. That is a risk of also mindfulness. That suppose I am too much focused on the experience itself, Suppose a car is coming in front of me. Okay. I am, instead of thinking of swerving away, okay, or applying my brake, if I am analyzing who is watching it, what, in this experience that a car is coming, just for, or I am going to hit. Suppose at that moment I am analyzing who is the awareness. Then what will happen, since it is our practice, it is not has become a reality for us, the risk of ignoring the world, what is happening, what is asking for us. Okay. So I think it is very, we have to figure it out how to really get hold of it in every moment of our awareness, every moment of our knowledge. We have to figure it ourselves, but in itself, as a theory or as a practice, it is a tremendous one, right? A tremendous promise it holds for us. Yes, Gunamai.
Yes, I was just thinking, yes, I had a question. Is this why previous swamis like Swami Prabhupada and more recently Swami Sarvapriyananda and others have referred to this as at the back of our experience, when there's that stillness, and it's they keep hinting. I keep seeing this at the back of, behind.
Right.
That's
right.
what we tell us to focus on that.
Exactly. Be aware of that. Yes. Simon. Yes, Simon, go ahead.
Hi, Swamiji. Yeah, I was also thinking, I was reading some stuff by Ramana Maharishi, and I think he says that the most direct method is the self-inquiry. And then he has that whole methodology of to whom do these thoughts arise? So like every moment if you take pause, I guess, and you ask that question every time you have a thought, instead of focusing on the thought. I mean, obviously it's a hard thing to do, but I think that connects to what we're talking about, right? Because it's like,
indeed,
understanding like, oh, it's the light.
Right.
The light illuminates, right? Okay.
Right. Who is experiencing this thought?
Exactly. And it's like the direct method of realization.
Yeah. Yes. Indeed. But it also requires practice. Yes, and slow practice is another interpretation that I find helpful. He who has realized the existence of Brahman behind every activity of his being, whether sensation, perception, or thought, he alone gains immortality. Acha, pratibodha is every activity, who's a sensation. Okay, it's another interpretation. Yeah, good one. All right. I know this topic is very liable to many questions. It's sure bound to, but don't forget also the second meaning of pratibodha, that a grand experience which happens once in a while. Okay, that also can open the door to that infinity. All right. Then second part of this mantra is ātmanā vindate vīryaṃ. Here, the word ātmanā means self-effort. Okay, self-effort, not ātmā as transcendental self or soul. Here, ātmanā means self-effort. Through one's self-effort, one gains the power. What kind of power? The power to recognize the witness in every cognition. Or what could be another power? Through self-effort, one gains power. Power to recognize ātmā in every act of knowledge, or power to, yes. Oh, acha, I have to unmute. Okay. Yes, I allow participants to unmute. You can unmute and try to answer.
Discover?
Power, self-effort is required.
Sarvatma bhava.
Power to, so, okay, let me make it easier. Self-effort means sadhana. Sadhana is required. Sadhana is required to recognize ātmā in every perception, or power to two meanings of pratibodha. Two meanings of pratibodha, right?
Special experience.
Power is needed, self-effort is needed to achieve the power to have nirvikalpa samadhi, special experience. Okay. It also requires effort, self-effort. So
Are you
power?
Are you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Swami. Are you
Yes, go
talking
ahead.
about the? Are you talking about the power to tolerate the intensity of the experience?
In a way, intensity of the experience, but it also requires self-effort to gain the power, the ability to enter into nirvikalpa samadhi or samadhi. Okay, that so we should not lose both the meanings of pratibodha. Okay, both the meanings of pratibodha. So through one's self-effort, one gains the power. What kind of power? The power to recognize the witness in every cognition, or the power to enter into samadhi. In other words, self-effort or sadhana is necessary to recognize the witness in every cognition or in samadhi. Merely knowing that won't help us. We need to make effort to recognize the witness, or we need effort to have that kind of special experience, which will reveal ātmā or give us a glimpse of ātmā to us.
So Maharaj,
right?
Maharaj, what happens when people, like in theistic terms, when God realization, when people see, like Sri Ramakrishna's first experience of Mother Kali. So what is that experience? Is this same as this, or this is a different kind of experience?
You have to tell me from what we have read so far. All these explanations are hidden or given in what the verses we have read. Tell me, your answer lies there. In fact, there are 5 verses which emphasize your answer, which is a clue to your answers. 5 verses.
Asking me a question. I would think it's like a kind of a savikalpa samadhi. It's not a nirvikalpa.
Forget about nirvikalpa savikalpa. What was the experience of?
It's dual.
Okay, what did the teacher say? So infinite ātmā within yourself that people are worshipping in idols and images. Okay, five times. So what Sri Ramakrishna experienced? The same infinite ātmā through the help of an image. Okay.
but all the images,
Thank you, Maharaj.
but all the images are only our attempt to cognize the infinite. The
Yes.
infinite in turn is cognizing us. So this power of cognition is both, it's a two-way highway. The ātmā is cognizing us, and we in our limited capacity are attempting to cognize the unlimited. And that's where the symbols come from. But in the cognition, I think the answer to the question that you asked about, you know, one of our friends said beyond thought. Beyond thought. Think about thought. From where does thought come? That is the cognition that powers the world, the creation, right there. It's why we are sons and daughters of God, because we can do that.
Right. Exactly. And that is it was pointed at the very beginning, right? It is the eye of the eye. It is the ear of the ear. That is, this is source of everything. Source of everything. All right. Now the last part. Last part is vidyayā vindate amṛtam. So self-effort is required to gain the power to or ability to understand, recognize the weakness in every bit of cognition, or the power to ability to have that kind of special experience. And from the recognition of the unchanging witness, one discovers the immortal dimension of their being, which is being repeated in the last part of the mantra. Vidyayā vindate amṛtam. Vidyayā vindate amṛtam. So summary of these two verses are like this. To the illumined ones, ātmā is never a thing to be known. It is the eternal subject. They realize ātmā, recognizing it in every cognition as the witness of every knowledge, or through some special experience such as samadhi. And it requires effort to recognize ātmā in every cognition, or to have special experience such as samadhi. Through such realization, the illumined ones discover the immortal dimension of their being, And one more last mantra is left of this chapter, which will conclude the main teachings of the Upanishad. We shall take up that in our next class. Okay. Let me see whether. Okay. Yes, I think I have answered all the questions.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yes. Yeah, something this mantra, the last 2.4, is for all of us to think, ponder over it. Okay, ponder over it, because very profound mantra. I don't think anybody can really make it clear to us unless we deeply think about the mantra. I just try to give a very coherent meaning of the mantra, avoiding the traditional way of interpreting it, and the words, okay, so that the meanings are simple to follow and goes well with the prevalent context. That is what I am trying to do. But we have to think about it. Okay. All right.
Swami,
Yes, Betty.
I have a last question.
Yes, please.
Isn't there a qualitative difference between the two definitions? The experience of samadhi seems like it's a much grander experience than just recognizing the ātmā behind every perception.
Yeah, from the standpoint of experience, samadhi is grand. But remember, we are not here for the experience, for the sake of experience. Okay, what Upanishad is trying to put us is to realize a great fact, truth, okay? Coming to that truth that our innermost core is vast and infinite, which does not change, which is the witness always present. Okay, so the practice is a means. The samadhi may appear to be a grand experience, but it will take us to the same truth if we succeed in the other practice. Both in terms of taking us to the truth, both are equally valuable.
And
have you got it? Have you got my point?
Yes, I have. But the practices might be a little different.
Yeah, practice. No,
the
practice.
two go, so to speak.
Practice. Okay, the Jnana Yoga practice is mainly trying to recognize the witness. Okay, whether it is in every moment or on some special moments. Okay, for them, Nirvikalpa Samadhi or any ordinary mode of knowing does not make any difference. Okay, does not make any difference. If what we are looking for, searching for is the witness, no matter what method we employ, Okay, now in terms of practicality, there is of course questions. Some prefers some special experience, some prefers no, we want normal experience and we want to be super analytical about it. Okay, that is why this path of inquiry analysis is very much appealing to some, and some people may find it, it is too much intellectual, too much intellectual and dry. No value given on experience. No value given on experience. Of course.
Thank you.
So, just kind of a similarity I can tell you, to kind of analogous, you read about something in a newspaper, okay, and you watch the video. Now, watching the video is definitely much more appealing, or to some it is much more enjoyable experience. But in terms of knowing the truth, suppose we are trying to know a truth, a fact, whether we see it through the interview of some people or we read it in a plain black and white paper, in terms of knowing the truth, both are same if we are getting the same truth. In terms of experience, someone may be interested more into an audio visual and someone just a black and white thing. Okay, we may kind of think like this way. Okay, the problem will be which I don't like is some traditions say that this moment-to-moment recognition is the only true method of realizing ātmā. That is what I don't like. Okay, they altogether deny the validity or the need of some special experience or the need of meditation. That is what I don't like. Okay. All right. So today we are skipping the guided meditation then. Okay. Next day we shall see you. Yes, Preeti ji, you have any question or any thought?
Yes, Maharaj, I have a question. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So the practice of neti that's mentioned, not this, not this. So really that's really saying that anything that is knowable, we're separating. So if it's knowable, then it's not that.
Yeah, right. If it is knowable, it is not that.
Not that.
Yeah. Here, the emphasis was not on the denial part. Here, the emphasis is what try to find out who is witnessing. Okay. Who is witnessing? Go for that.
Thank you, Maharaj.
All right. All of you have a great